damage, and there were just too many Marines. The Immortals just annihilated.
Absolutely. Now we are just waiting for the remaining spectators to get in the game. We are your English commentators. I am Day9.
And I am D Apollo.
And we have many, many others in other languages streaming. Yeah, clap for us. Yeah, let's do it.
And Naama actually looked very happy with that win after, really fist pumping that win. And both players wanting to win this to be crowned DreamHack 1v1 Starcraft 2 tournament champion, taking down that prize pool. Ooh, I'd like that prize pool.
You would like 100,000 kroners.
I would.
And of course, again, that translates to 14,000 US American dollars. And we just need the final player to join into this game. Now, honestly, if you are in MaNa's position, what is the sort of build that you're going to be going for?
In MaNa's position? MaNa.
In the Protoss's position.
In the Protoss position, I'd just try to stay calm, settle nerves. Playing in front of a crowd like this is very nerve-wracking. I'd stay calm, I'd clean the slate, forget about game one, and go into this with the head held high, looking to take him down.
And it looks like the players are ready. We are going directly into game two between Naama and MaNa in the grand finals of the DreamHack SteelSeries LAN. There are your competitors from Mouse Sports. And if you would like MaNa to win, give a cheer for MaNa!
And if you'd like Naama, the Terran player, to win, please make some noise for him!
And here we are with Naama in the north position as the red Terran in the right spot. We have MaNa as the blue Protoss. On this map, we've seen some crazy strategies, most notably Adele Scott's brilliant Warp Prism harass. But Adele Scott, despite being perhaps one of the most skilled players at this tournament, the nerves got to him. And on the main stage, that is going to be the biggest battle for both of these players.
Definitely Day9, and it's going to be pretty cool to see how these players develop, to see if nerves do hit them. Will they stay calm? Will they stay focused? And I'd probably expect I'd rather like to see a couple of fast expand builds on this map.
Oh yeah.
Got to be careful because the way the natural is set out, it's kind of easy to defend. We've seen OGS Top playing in the earlier stages before he got knocked out. He liked to do one racks into expansion.
Yeah.
Those builds are so good on this map.
And as we're going to see, once the players begin sending out their scout workers, here's the first one for MaNa. It is an extremely long path at the start of the game as we head down here. This is the halfway point, this Xel'Naga watchtower. But notice that this expansion doesn't have any cliffs behind it. It's far away from the opponent. Not only is it the ground distance, but also the air distance that makes it so easy to defend. The danger is in the middle game when these destructible rocks fall and there's a shortcut to each other's base.
Yeah, and like you were saying, with the air distances, because it's such short air distances between bases, Banshees are so viable. And if you look at the back of the bases, there is so much area for drops to come in, for Banshees to come in and kite very easily and retreat without getting cornered at all.
And indeed, there's the first Marine going down. There's Naama's very unusual SCV. The 16th SCV is so unusual. Normally, you always see that orbital command coming out after 15 SCVs, but Naama just wanting that extra little edge.
And now this probe will get chased down. The Marine is about to come out. Will be able to get the kill, though. That would be important to do. One more hit. He does get the kill, and that's very nice. And now, MaNa is actually clean to do whatever he wants.
Looks like the second assimilator is going down in MaNa's base. Very key indicator for all strategies. When the second refinery goes down, almost certainly not going to be a one gateway expand for MaNa. Naama is an amazing player. He knows all about this, so that is a key scout that he just threw down.
I know he sees that. And on the other side of the base, we see a factory being put down first before the refinery this time. And that's kind of interesting. He doesn't have any tech labs, only another Marine making on his barracks, and we're not going to see any forward aggression because of what we were saying, how far it is between bases. A bunker is going to come down, which is just a safe precaution because you always can salvage it and get your refund.
And
it's
now
like you take the receipt back, and it's like, okay.
That's true. You can always bring your receipt back to the Terran store and get your 100 minerals. I don't know what that is in kroners, but it's definitely less than 100,000, which is the prize for first. Now, Naama does love Banshee harassment, so no doubt probably planning for something along those lines, but I'm real curious about this one little SCV hanging out by the Automaton 2000.
He is chilling out there, just relaxing and enjoying each other's company before he has to go into the base of the Protoss to find out what is going on, to see if he's going to go for any fast expansion. He should be able to get into the base as well if the Zealot doesn't get any hits. And there we go with his starport is being made in the back of Naama's base along with the tech lab on the factory.
Yeah, so it almost certainly will be some sort of Banshee opening. We do see that there is the robotics facility going down. MaNa is doing the safest way to play Protoss versus Terran, getting these 2 gateways to make a decent amount of units and getting the robotics facility for the very fast observer. Obviously lets him scout, but more importantly, check out the cloaked units, the cloaked Banshees.
And here we go, the starport has been lifted onto the tech lab. Are we going to see a Banshee coming out? The waypoint has been set over to the Protoss base. Are we seeing it? No, not yet.
Wow, opting for Cloak before a Banshee, wants to put the pressure on fast. Will this robotics facility be done in time?
I don't know. It looks like it will be done in time and probably will have enough time to get an observer out too. It's the fact, will he have enough stalkers and anti-air out in time? He's just about finished with warp gates and will be turning these gateways into warp gates pretty soon. And by the looks of it, looking at the Banshee timing, yes, the observer will be out, and yes, there will be anti-air ready for it.
Now it looks like Naama is continuing to scout. He wants to continue to check that expansion, and that is such a big indicator. He does not see any probe. MaNa wants to kill off this SCV first. Now notice MaNa has so much money. He's up in the 300s, which is a serious amount of cash in StarCraft 2. So he's first going to kill off that SCV, and now he's going to expand. Wants to keep his opponent in the dark.
And I don't know, like, expanding's going to be pretty hard. And oh my god, actually hold that thought, because the observer sees the Banshee at perfect timing, and stalkers are going to be in position to directly counter this. Cloak is almost done. Does he have another observer? It's in the making, and it should be out just in time by the time Cloak is finished.
And now here comes MaNa, and oh no, it looks like Naama is waiting until right when Cloak gets finished. It is 3 seconds away, and there it's done. Great timing by Naama, but even better by MaNa. He's going to run in there. He's going to take some shots off, and there the Banshee is starting to take some serious hits. Will he kill the Banshee? That would be huge, and it falls!
Oh, that is so big, especially because he has his Nexus in production now. Down by the Nexus, and down by the Natural, and he's in a great position. A second Banshee is out and is crossing the middle of the map. I'm not sure if the observer did see that though.
Now Naama knows that even though he didn't get 50 probe kills, a standard for a Banshee, that's totally fine. He's going to continue to harass. He's going to pick off any outlying units. He saw that probe, picked off that one. Even pylons can be a vulnerability, and here he is darting down, sees the probe, juicy kills, and it looks like this Banshee is going to get a couple of kills of his own.
It leaves with 2 kills actually. Thought it could have possibly got a third. Unfortunately, it doesn't. The command center in Naama's base is almost done, and he is going for siege tanks, and he's also building a medivac at the same time, and an extra barracks being added onto the tech lab.
Yeah, definitely wants to get up those extremely strong units, the tanks. This is a real standard in Terran versus Protoss now. You do the Banshee harass, and all this Banshee is really going to force MaNa to do is to keep these units here. They really cannot leave because he knows that this Banshee is still alive. Great damage being done by the Banshee, even though it is just sitting still, and this will allow Naama to, or excuse me, yes, that's right, there we go, Naama. That will allow him to build up a big army of tanks for a large push. Oh, and the scan to pick off the ops. Very nice.
And as you say, not only does he have to keep units down by the Natural in case of the Banshee, he has to keep them in the main as well. Because of the large area around the side of the map, all this cliff area, he can just come in from any direction without being spotted. And so he's going to have to split his units up. And that could actually be really cool for Naama and actually hold up if he gets another probe kill. But as I was saying, that's really good for Naama because he could push directly through the middle, knowing that Stalkers are split all across the map to try and defend this Banshee.
And it looks like MaNa's actually the one gearing up to do a push. Interestingly enough, 5 warp gates out right now. Almost always you see Protoss is getting that very fast Colossus, but not MaNa. He needs more gateway units to defend this backdoor and his main from all those air units.
Medivacs are being making, and Stim is almost finished. That's obviously going to be key in this matchup. I'm trying to see if MaNa is going to cut pro production. Obviously, the build that a lot of players are using now is they get just the right amount of saturation on each base, and then go for 6 warp gates and just pile pressure into the Terran player.
And look at this, Naama doing such a good job with just this single Banshee. Again, it doesn't just have to kill probes, any outlying vulnerable units. Even if he just gets this one Zealot, that would be great, but instead just going to let him know that he's the boss and leave him with 14 life to think about it.
+1 ground weapons is being researched from the Forge, from MaNa in the main, and I'm trying to see, is he trying to go for this attack through the middle? And I think the best decision for him to do is just to kill the rocks down, to put pressure on Naama, just to let him know that he is still around. But I think the the thing he's going to do is just to wait to a 4+1-2 finish before engaging.
Yeah, now Naama did need a lot of time to get all these siege tanks up. I don't think he actually might not be prepared for this huge 5-gate push. And now here's Naama cutting right through the center, seeing everything that's going down. He sees the Twilight Council. He might be able to do some damage at this Nexus. There are cannons at each location. And look at the Chrono Boost on every single warp gate. It really looks like he is trying to win with this single push. Does Naama have enough tanks? We will see. MaNa now swinging in. There's the Guardian Shield. He's going to swing for it, and he is going for it.
And SCVs have been pulled off, and they are going right into the front. And it looks like MaNa will be able to defend this successfully and pushes MaNa out of his base.
Very nice play there by Naama. It looks like MaNa needs to continue to reproduce these gateway units. It is very hard to be able to keep up with the strength of those siege tanks, so MaNa is going to get Templar Archives. He's going to get Psionic Storm. He's going to try to pick off all these Marines. The Marine count from Naama is so high, and it looks like Naama's gearing up to push. Oh, so smart. He's going to push and attack right as this very important combat shield upgrade finishes.
+1 for Protoss is just about to finish. That's the best thing that happened to him right now. Charge is not going to be done, and he uses his force fields to try to hold him off for a little bit longer, as he's not quite prepared for this attack.
I mean, this is very, very nice timing by Naama. Notice he's attacking right as his own combat shield upgrade finishes, and before the Templar Archives pop down, there's the stim. Uh-oh, he's cut off a huge amount of infantry at the front. MaNa is going to take that win. No, loading up into the medevac. Great play by Naama.
Great play, and he knew he was in trouble because the siege tanks were out of range. They were too far back. The force fields cut the infantry off from the tanks, and here we see once again the bunker play pushing ever so closer into the Protoss army. Zealot speed is about to be done, and +1 Grand Armor is being researched. That will help out a lot.
He did pick off one Viking. If those Zealots do get the leg speed upgrade, that was going to help so much. Those units are so fast, and it looks like, no, he is just going for it. Now the Zealot with leg speed finishes. There's the charge. The tanks do a little bit of damage back to the Marines, but there are so many tanks from Naama. The medevacs in the front. Will he be able to pick off them off? No! He repels it.
Oh, and he's going to push into the main, and he could be in a lot of trouble now. A storm is only just starting, and he really needs that to combat this. The destructible debris is going to go down, and he will be going onto the natural of MaNa, and oh, he's in so much trouble.
Really, MaNa has almost no units left. He doesn't have the Psionic Storm. He's trying to warp in the Templar, but they need 75 energy. They spawn with just 50, so he will have to spawn them and then wait and hope that he has enough energy by the time that research finishes. And now he is sprinting forward, picking off his pylon. If we go to the resource station, still neck and neck with both players, just within 2 food of each other.
And supply depots are being placed down at the front next to these bunkers as well, just to absorb more damage from all the units. And here we go, he's trying to get rid of this pylon. Will not supply cap the noise. He's got enough supply. Got to be careful. The siege tank in a fantastic position, shooting across that little gap in the middle.
And it looks like the Psionic Storm upgrade is just now finished, so he is trying to get the Amulet upgrade. The Amulet allows those High Templar to cast Psionic Storm right when they finish building, so that will allow him to possibly do counter aggression. But look at MaNa's patience. He's not overreacting. The problem is Naama is getting a lot of time to establish himself, and here's the attack.
Oh, and what a great storm, doing a lot of damage, and this is it. He needs to clean out from here. Will he be able to do it? There are so many Zealots. Tanks are being fired now, but it looks like he will be able to defend this. And oh my god, will he do it?
He's trying to pick off the siege tanks. Those are the key units, but look at how many infantry are left. MaNa attacking from 2 angles. He is morphing an Archon. The Archon is finished. Where is he getting all these units from? Naama does manage to not lose his contain.
Oh my god, that is so big, and Naama is looking great. The second game this is, and he's containing his opponent once again, this side outside of the natural, and he could go straight down into it and even snap this Nexus, and now down goes the Nexus, and it finishes
he kills it! That is a huge win.
That is a huge win indeed, Day 9, and all these medivacs are healing this infantry straight up there. They can be drug happy, stim all day long, and they can get repaired, and more storms are coming down. Will he be able to get some good ones? Miss.
Miss with one, hit with another. There's the crunch with Zealots and High Templar from both sides. These units, these Zealots are still alive, doing a ton of damage, but there are bunkers, there are tanks. MaNa's units are getting completely disorganized, and Naama is playing brilliantly.
He's playing so well. The Archon's going to go down as well. All these mechs, so many medivacs here healing all this, and it looks like nice storm, doing a lot of damage, but I don't think he can do much. He really needs to try and hold on. Zealots all trying to break through this, but these siege tanks are doing a lot of damage.
Naama doing brilliant micro lifting and dropping units into those medevacs. There's another storm picking off one of those medevacs. Ooh, several more fall. But there's the good game. Naama is currently up 2-0.
Wow, 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 wow. What an interesting game. The containment he does with the bunkers, just holding his opponent, putting so much pressure. He even decided to build supply depots.
Yeah, and that is going to definitely mess with the micro of those zealots. They can't charge up to the tanks or even the Marines and Marauders. And Naama was very, very aggressive with that push. Ordinarily, players just carefully, gently move their siege tanks forward. But we saw Naama sprint up with those Marines and Marauders, and even when the force fields were thrown down, he lifted into the medevacs and escaped safely.
That was such a smart play. A lot of players would have sat there and been like, oh,